love them so much. Hello, I'm Emily and welcome to EB Knits. Thank you for being here. I am a knitter and making enthusiast based in Orlando, Florida. Today's video is going to be all about everything I made in July of 2022. Before we get into that, I want to tell you what I'm wearing. I am having a beach day today, hopefully. I often wear this tank, the Thea tank by Tamara Makes, as a little beach cover-up. I've got my swimsuit on underneath. And I choose this for a beach cover-up because the yarn is very light and drapey, and the armholes are really large, so I think it works with the swimsuit underneath. It is a brioche tank. It's my second ever brioche project, my first being a hat that is made in preparation for this test knit, but I loved it so much, I was like, I'm gonna get brioche. And it isn't that hard to master, honestly. It's not as mindless or as simple as like stockinette, but you can definitely do it. And then there's some, decreases here, so it is a little bit intricate. That's only on the front, the back is plain. And in her pattern, she did create, after tester feedback, a option with a smaller armhole. It's perfect for the hot summer months, and I actually have a whole making vlog or analysis about it, so I'll make sure to link to that in the corner, wherever that is. And let's get into the knitting. Here are like the guidelines for what I'm going to be talking about. It's anything I knit a single stitch on in the month of July. So let's start with finished objects. I have two today, and they're actually similar, to say the least. These are both going to be Knit Marled Summer Bucket Hats by Pam Sapienza. She works for the Knitting Place, which is a local yarn shop in New York. They have a podcast if you ever want to check out her designs or her current knits. This is how it looks on, and if you watch previous vlogs, you know I'm basically obsessed with bucket hats right now. I use Wool in the Gang Super Trooper wool. I had a whole bunch of it, but I don't have much left. I don't have a ball band to show you, but it is a polyester recycled cotton blend, and this one was originally white, but I dyed it, and I'm actually gonna have a whole knitting vlog about the few modifications I made to this hat and all the dyeing experiments. It wasn't what I was going for, but to me it looks like an artist's smock. Like, it's just a beautiful palette that got clusters of random paint or color on it. So that's what we're keeping for now. And my second version I love even more. Technically my second version. This is my fourth and this is my fifth. So I knit a lot of these hats, but these are the ones I knit in July. This is my Scrappy version. This one is a little bit bigger. I don't dislike it though. For both of these there's modifications from the pattern, so I cast on about 11 extra stitches than the large size in the pattern so that the brim is even bigger. And then I knit more stockinette in between these decreases so that, again, the brim is bigger, but then I decrease so that this body fits the large size of the hat. So then for the body and the top, I'm following the instructions for the large size. So it's just a scrappy version. I have a whole box of cellulose and synthetic blends. They are all about an Aran weight. Some are held double. Like you can see, some of this pink and gray is marled together. This purple and gray is held together. So some are marled, some are held single, but they make about a worsted to Aran weight. I use a 4.5mm needle for both the hats. Some stripes are 1 row, some stripes are 3 rows or more. So it's just all over the place. And I got the inspiration because Pam Sapienza, the designer, she made a crochet version that was scrappy, and I thought, I want to do that. But knitting is my forte and my go-to. I think it is amazing. I love it so much. My only feedback about this, and it's not the hat pattern, it is the weight of the hat, of the yarn that I chose to use. It's a little bit heavy. For really hot days like today where it feels like 100 or more outside, it is a little warm. I would say this is more of a fall-ish hat. I was having frustrations with this one because the dyeing wasn't going how I wanted, and then I finished this and put it on my head and was like, I love it so much. I love it. So yes, there will definitely be a making vlog for this one. Those are my two finished objects. And now I'm going to show you my whips. So let's just keep on that bucket hat train. I cast on another. all tangled. So for my 6th version of this hat, it is a current work in progress, and it's going to be all blue. So I do have, these are my warm color scraps left, but I don't know if I think they're enough to make a hat. We'll see. But I have a lot of blues and whites and grays, so that's what I'm combining for this next version. Here we are. This is just where I'm at now, the brim. Oh, I've got yarn in the way. Hopefully you can see. So I'm doing helical knitting, or helix knitting, in the round, and Very Pink Knits is an amazing tutorial. So all of my stripes in this one are just one round. Basically, she says, you know, it's like colors chasing other colors, and in the end, it creates this really amazing one row striped hat or whatever you're making, so that there's not a weird jog in between the stripes. I've used it in beanies that I've made years ago, and it was fantastic, so I knew I wanted to do that for this as well. Because there's so many stitch markers, it's not as mindless to knit on. However, I think it's worth it. I think it's beautiful. I used the same modifications, cast on the same amount as those other hats. So in terms of stitch counts and things, it's the same. I'm using the same size needles. It's still about an Aran weight yarn. So again, it'll be a little heavy, but that's okay. I love it so much still. Next project, we're stepping away from bucket hat. But we're not stepping away from hats. This is a crochet hat now, and I actually started this last summer. Let me show you it. Looks done, right? However, I'm still messing with it. I don't like the top here. This is what it looks like now. I don't like the bunching on the top. That's my biggest concern. And I was iffy on the brim. I thought it might have been a little bit too big. I don't want it floppy. I want it very sturdy. So I think we're there. However, I don't know if it's a little bit big. So I'm still figuring things out. I'm going to redo this top, and I'm sitting on the brim if I want to redo that or not yet. But again, there'll be a whole making vlog on this with all my chats and analysis of it, because it's like been a year that I've been working on this. It's inspired by a hat I saw on Anthropology. It doesn't look much like that version of the hat anymore. I've made it my own and figured out what I wanted it to look like. So this hat is made with Lion brand raffia. Here, I'm nervous to show you this. Here is a ball of the raffia yarn. It is very hard to take around. This becomes basically destroyed and is very easy to come apart, just the way it's balled up, so, or whatever this is called, the way it's in this formation. So it's hard to take around. I've been very careful in keeping what I can in the bags, because I had a disaster, like with the purple yarn, it became a disaster. So I just did it in a ball, and I've even got a rubber band on the ball so that it stays. That's where we're at with that, but I wanted to mention, if you choose to use this yarn, I really like it. It's really lightweight. I would certainly turn to this in the hottest summer months for something on my head, but I've tried knitting with it before. It's not easy to knit with. I definitely would recommend crocheting with it. It unravels. It unravels real fast. Now we can leave Hatland. This is a cardigan. This is a cardigan for my sister. You've seen it before if you've been around. This is the Homecoming Cardigan by Shay Johnson. Knit and Crochet is her username. I made one for myself, but my sister wanted one. And it's been slow going. One, because it's like an 8-row pattern repeat that I do not have fully memorized. And that pattern repeat includes more intricate stitching than stockinette, and as I mentioned, that's kind of what I'm going for these days, is that really simple stockinette. So I'm getting there. I'm making some progress, but let's see if you can see close up. It's a really beautiful pattern. I am using my sister bought this yarn. She got it from, so this yarn, the green is paint box yarn, recycled cotton. I ripped the label, but there's part of it. It's 100% recycled cotton. And then the contrast color is Lana Grossa Alessia. It's a cotton polyester blend. Here is the label for it. I was bringing this to work, but it's kind of gotten, at this point, a little bit bulky to stick in my bag. I could do it, but it does add a lot of bulk, so no, I'm not sure. But I think I should start bringing it to work again, because that way, if I want to knit, I'm forced to work on this. It would be a good time to focus on this and at least get a couple rows, one row in at a time or something, because the rows are a little bit time consuming, probably 8 minutes or so per row at this point. So that's all my works in progress. That's everything I knit a stitch on in the month of July. I don't feel like it was much. There was definitely a time, especially last year, where I would have been knitting way more often. But with school right now, I just unfortunately don't have as much time to devote to knitting. And as a reminder, I am running the summer hat make along. So if you want to knit, crochet, sew, any hat for summer, I would love for you to join. Just comment here on YouTube or join the Ravelry group. I know at least one person from Australia has joined, so that's really fun. I love this pattern. I obviously highly recommend it, but choose any pattern you like that is a summery bucket hat or a summer hat to you. That's all that matters. So I hope you join. So let's talk some August plans. So of course, finishing this, getting a few more rows on the cardigan, and hopefully some more work on that flower hat. I would love to finish it. I'll pull it back out. This is a work of love, a work of art to me, and I don't have a deadline for it. There is some work to be done here, but just make some progress on this would be amazing for August. For my next hat, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough yarn left to make a 7th bucket hat. If I do, it would be wonderful to make a scrappy version of this, a scrappy version with warmer colors. However, this is a thicker yarn. This is more like a bulky or even super bulky. So while I thought it was good as an accent color here, I don't think it would be good for like stripes in a whole hat. That would be just too thick, I think. So that's my hesitation and why I don't know that I would have enough scraps to make another version. Otherwise, that might become scrunchies, or it might just sit, and that's okay too. Other than that, I do want to make at least one more bucket hat though. It is crochet this time. Again, the designer, surprise, surprise, is Pam Sapienza, and it is a checkerboard crochet hat. I have been in love with it since the second I saw it. I don't think I've ever done colorwork crochet besides like granny squares or these flower squares, but I'm excited to take it on. I really, really want to. I think it's amazing. And I don't know what colors I would do. I'm thinking I'm going to use the raffia. I was originally thinking white and tan. However, I started thinking, maybe I should be bolder. I have the hot pink, which again, let me carefully lift out of the box. Maybe this or the hot pink with the tan. Don't know. I think I want the white and the tan. I think I want something toned down, but the hot pink is really fun too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do two. We'll see. I don't know. So that means I need a chill knit project after this one's done if I decide that I can't do another bucket hat with the scraps that I have left. So I'm thinking maybe cast on a shirt for the first time this year. So I haven't made a shirt for myself. I haven't made a top or a garment. I made a garment. I made 2 pairs of shorts for myself, but I made a cardigan for my mom, and then I'm making that cardigan for my sister, but that's it in terms of garments. So I haven't knit a top for myself this year at all. I'm thinking about casting the Peep Show pullover by More Thunder on. I think it's really amazing. I have yarn for it. So that might be something I cast on in August, but I'm back. So it's the same day, but it's a few hours later because I got some goodies in the mail that I want to share. So yesterday was actually my birthday, the 28th, and I got a few items in the mail that came Some came yesterday and a couple that came today. So I wanted to show you them. First, okay, I'll show you these first. This is from the Blue U on Etsy. And look at this gorgeous bag it came in, like drop dead. Knit Keeper, so these are a Knit Keeper cord clothing set, so they're basically like a barber pole, but I just found them on Etsy. And so I sent a list to my family, and I got these pretty pink ones. They're light coral, technically was the color. And I saw the regular barber poles on webs.com, I think it was. But I went to Etsy. That's kind of my go-to. I really like supporting small, you know. So I went to Etsy, found these silicone cords with a hollow center, and I think they'll function the same, or about the same as the barber poles. So I'm excited for this. I've been wanting to try them. Everyone, you know, raves about them on knitting in the community. So I'm excited to have a set of my own. I just need to make some more garments now. And the second thing I got in the mail today was from Sunny Side Up Crafts. And it's so pretty. She came with a sticker, and that was wrapped in a bow, which was clearly her hand spun yarn. I think I heard of her from Twin Aura Knits podcast. They got some really beautiful fiber, and this is one of the places they get their fiber from. So I got the 4 set, like Flight of Bats it's called. So it's 4 art bats, and they're all just small. So look at all of this glitter and different things in them. These are this is the softest fiber I have ever felt. It's got all kinds of things in them. It's so pretty. This is gonna be amazing to spin. I'm really excited. This might get me back on the spinning train. Oh, just look at all that. And then this is the most me one, I think. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. They are perfect. They're so beautiful, and it came with some locks, which I've never spun with locks before, but some dyed locks too. So you can just add that into your spin, I believe. So I'm super excited about everything I got. And oh, one more thing. So this isn't knitting, this is another craft. So last year, I suggested to my mom that I wanted to try an embroidery kit, and I did. I had a lot of fun with it. It took a really long time, but I really enjoyed it. I actually ultimately ended up giving it to my sister as a housewarming gift when she moved. But ever since I've wanted to do more, I just kind of get intimidated by the materials. Like, I still have the hoop, but I would need to buy my own cotton canvas, and then, okay, so you know, how do you have the pattern, but how do you get it from there onto the canvas? I know there's different ways, but I feel like I've researched and I've seen so many like, oh, pen's not good, pen stays, or, you know, even the erasable pens, or the tracing paper and XYZ. So I feel like there's positive and negatives, and I've never taken the time to really try it out for myself. So when my mom asked me what I wanted, I was like, let's try another embroidery kit. So this one is not just embroidery with string. It's got, you can't really see it on here. It comes with this watercolor background. Here it is on the hoop. I already put it on the hoop. Comes with this watercolor background, and then you embroider over it, and it also has sequins and stuff. So this is like a whole stitch guide. So that's a whole booklet about different stitches, about how to do it, and of course she says, like, feel free to experiment, do what you want. This is all about creativity. And this is the beautiful card that came with it. And there's a message from my parents in it. And so beaks and bobbins. Is that focusing? So it came from the UK, and it came in like 2 days. I'm so impressed with all 3 of these makers. I highly recommend them. Beaks and Bobbins, Sunny Side Up Crafts, and the Blue U. Check them all out. I finished a book early this month. So it's been a while since I finished it. It was called The Soulmate Equation, and it's by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is actually a writing duo, and I highly recommend them if you want more of a light-hearted romance read. I've read 4 of their books at this point, I believe, and I read 3 last year, all in like a span of a week, So Christina Lauren is often recommended for good reason. They're really reliable for go-to beach reads. And that's everything I made, knit, and stitched on in July. If you liked this video, thank you for watching. I think you would also like my making vlogs. I've discontinued them and replaced them with these monthly wrap-ups, but you can still give them a try. I will insert my most watched making vlog, and you can see if you can like that. If you do, there's plenty, about a year of making vlogs to catch up on. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel out and allows me to keep creating this content. I'd also love to hear what projects you're currently working on, if you have any recommendations for me, or if any of my items today inspired you to maybe make one of them and add them to your queue. Alright, I'm gonna head off to the beach. I've got my sun hat here. This is another sun hat I made with that raffia yarn, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends!